today,
Wow.
thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. But today you are here with us, and this is our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. The podcast is all about taking everyday people who've gone through extraordinary things and really listening to their stories and gaining some nugget, some knowledge, some gem from it. And today in the studio, oh my gosh, today I have got an amazing, amazing guest list. So I have some fine men over here to my left. My husband being the finest, of course. Troy. Troy is my coach.
That's also subjective. All right.
That's a must say.
Yeah. Yes, I have Troy, and then I also have Pat Smith, and I have Tim Stansell. And so what's really amazing about this group of men is not only are they good men, but they're also doing amazing things in the community. I know Pat. Pat is the CEO of Raquel's. He's also the founder of Upscale 3 Entertainment. And then I also have to the left of him, I have Tim Stansell, and he owns the latest barbershop. I have known him for a very long time. We've known him for a very long time. And he's had some great barbershop businesses, and he's also part of Upscale 3 Entertainment. And so I want to welcome them to our show and have them tell us a little bit about themselves. And, hopefully this is going to be just a really good time. And, our theme for today is what makes a good man? Or, like Pat said,
what makes a man good?
There you go. So, Pat, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
There's a little Facebook clip I put on last week, and it says, where you from? I know a lot of people, but I don't know where they're from. So I put on hey, I'm from New York, but raised in Riverside. And it started a whole chain of people telling us where they're from. But born in New York, upstate New York, migrated out here when I was about 10, moved to Riverside, where I met the illustrious Troy Adams and the rest of the Doughboys, the Riverside and Doughboys.
How long have you guys known each other?
Too long.
Shoot, man.
No, probably
at least 35.
I was going to say 35, 40 years. Yeah.
And
like I said last show, if it wasn't for Pat, you wouldn't be my girl.
No.
You wouldn't be my wife.
No.
You would have been a
passed
girl.
over.
Yeah.
I remember when y'all met. I remember that.
Yeah.
I not met, but hooked up.
Yeah. Met. That works.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So, came out here and started just hanging out, doing school and all that stuff, and became an adult, hooked up with Tim in Rialto when Tim was dating my little sis back then.
You let him do that?
Stephanie Bass. If you're listening, Stephanie. But no, it was a good meeting. He and I started hanging out. I was his guinea pig for haircuts, but he did spectacular haircuts and made a name for himself. Then we started doing backyard pool parties, and that's when we met Cha-Cha and brought him in. Mm-hmm. Cha-Cha seems to think that he started and brought us in, but Cha-Cha, if you're listening, never. So now, married, 2 beautiful children, a hell of a wife, and a hell of a life.
Very good.
Yeah.
And Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Tim Stansell, 52 years old.
You are not 52.
I'm 52 years
Black
old.
don't crack.
Dang.
Huh?
I
Grew
know.
up in the Compton-Linwood area. My childhood, my adult life is in the IE. Yeah. Moved out there in 85, like Pat said. I hooked up and met him in 88. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where my career started in my career. Barbering started in 88. And I was throwing parties prior to that, but it was just, throwing events. And moved out to the IE and opened up my first shop at 25 years old, and been still open for 25 years now. Partnered up with him with Raquel's and Upscale 3, and so those are the 3 ventures that I'm fully involved with, full time pretty much. Married about 7 months ago. I got totally blessed because I was not always the easiest person, but at the same time I stood my ground and I believed in what I wanted. So
And now you got it.
I got it, man. Totally got it.
Now, I remember when with one of your shops that you were really a visionary because, like, at that time you didn't really have barbers and beauticians or people who I go to. Like, you didn't really have them in the same space. But, like, you were one of the first that I'd ever known to do that, and you did that maybe 10, 15 years ago.
23 years
Oh,
ago.
my God.
But, yeah, it was a barbershop / salon. That happens, but it wasn't really cut up and set up the way I had it at that time. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it catapulted into where it is now. It's really on a different level now.
Because, like, I think the trend is for upscale barbershops, like, but that hasn't been forever, and you kind of had that way back then.
Had to have it. The way it is now, I would consider it a high-end upscale barbershop. Mm-hmm. Definitely different than what the rest of the market is doing right now.
But that's what's cool about your guys' relationships and the things that you guys do are outside of the box. I mean, there's no other promoters in the IE that is able to do the things that you guys do and bring the crowd, you guys. From,
oh my gosh, yes.
From the White Linen Party that people come all over the country to the Blackout Party, to the Super Bowl parties, to the New Year's Eve parties that y'all don't really invite your boy no more, but that's all good.
Maybe now.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've been traveling, so I ain't gonna, I know you hit me all the time. Right. Y'all hit me all the time, and I just can't come.
Riverside to Vegas.
Hey. But it's been incredible to see, that journey and to see, it inspires me again to think outside the box. Like all things are possible. Mm-hmm. It truly is possible. We were just talking about a venture that I'm gonna keep on y'all. I'm not even gonna put it out there yet.
Right.
But y'all gonna do that venture.
Yeah.
I can see it. There's just no mountain that's too tall for you guys.
I totally believe that, man. I think that we do have a niche. I think that we have a situation in the Inland Empire, and to go global with what we do and how we do it. It's everybody just can't open up a business and start a business. The blessing that we have and what the business that we do with Raquel's, we can open up, and we were able to, like Starbucks, you open up and then the first day you got customers. Mm-hmm. And so we are not like Starbucks, but we have a clientele that kind of keeps that going like that.
We're bigger than Starbucks. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Once we get the branding where it needs to be,
yes,
Starbucks will say we're like them.
Yeah.
Well, and you really put local talent on the map. Like, I remember going to some of your clubs like Sevilla's, and, we would have really great jazz artists and R&B singers, and you'd have open mic nights. And, like, I love live music, and I thought the only way I was going to get that is if I drove into L.A., Right. But that couldn't be further from the truth. And, like, we even met, like, Daniel or whatever. I think that was his name.
Yeah, Daniel played at our wedding.
Yeah, and he played at our wedding because we saw him at one of your spots. Yeah. And so, like, to see everything that you've come through and, like, where you are today, like, I know I'm super proud. I'm super proud of all three of you. Like, to know and to have known you for so long, it's really amazing to be able to keep doing it, to stay in your relationship. And so now that I say, like, relationship and to be able to stay in that place, like, how hard is it to keep your family on target and to kind of keep your wife happy and your family happy when you are in that life and when you are doing nightclubs and there's beautiful women there all the time?
I will let Pat answer that. He got 20 years with it.
Oh, yeah.
He's done a phenomenal job, and I watched him do it. So that's kind of like my instructor when I got married. I watched a lot of his stuff.
And I'm sure the wife he has, that take a strong woman as well.
Yes, man. There's no. You got to be thick-skinned in this business. And for those of you who know my wife,
hi Felicia.
And that's not bye Felicia. That's hi Felicia. No, you really have to be grounded and have you have to have some strong family views and spiritually connected, and you have to be that backbone that we don't really have anymore as black men. Mm-hmm.
Like the wife has to be that backbone.
The wife has to be that backbone. A lot back in the day, we were all we brought the bacon, fried it, and everything, and went to work, and the women didn't have to work. Mm-hmm. Now, the women are changing the tide. They bring home the whole pig.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's putting us in a situation where it's like the respect level and the effectiveness it gets diminished sometimes because you guys are really doing your thing, especially black women, educated, career-minded, and that's what my wife is. But at the same time, she still has my back and keeps pushing me forward to be the greatest I can be.
Now, how did you guys, did you get married really early, really young?
No, we got married I was 30. She was, 26.
Oh.
And, but we got together. We didn't have kids right away. We traveled. You look at our age group, Tim has adult children. Sometimes I feel like I wanted my kids to be like 25 right now, but we wanted to get to know each other and travel and
Ours is 8.
She was trying to have a couple just a few years back.
And we're the same age.
We done. One and done. Right. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, one and done. She's trying to still have them.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Not anymore.
That happens.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a 5-year-old.
But with that said,
You have a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh,
God. I didn't know that.
See, baby.
Oh, then that's I'm happy about that now.
Okay, Pat. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We
We jump off. Yeah, we had told you we jump off.
but coming from a 6-month marriage to a 21, to a 20-year marriage, we'll be 21 in March. Tim has a beautiful wife and keeps him grounded. He has truly been blessed, and he can speak from a position of being a newlywed opposed to someone who's a vet. But he's been doing the same business.
Yeah.
He's been affected the same way, and we all move in a different way, but it's all collective.
Right.
John talks about the same thing too.
Yeah.
And so, for Tim, for you, you are a newlywed, but at a certain point, you were dating in that lifestyle. How is that to have your woman there? And I would go to the club with Troy, and women would be I'd be holding his hand, and they'd be making eye contact, if I could just get you alone, It
was only her, right, Pat?
Hey.
You didn't even comment.
Hey.
No,
all right.
But
It's
really, it's just a completely different dating game. Everything about it. How did you meet your wife? How did that all come about?
I mean, I met my wife actually at my bar. Strangest place, not really the strangest place, but it was.
That would be Raquel's, ladies and gentlemen. City of Rialto.
I met my wife at my business at Raquel's Jazz Lounge. However, for me, I started really wanting to get married about 44, 43. So I was on a hunt for about 7 to 10 years. And like you guys said, I was dating and next woman, and 5 months later you look up, I was dating somebody else. Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could have stayed in situations and lived a lie and committed situations that wasn't really for me. And who does that at 40 plus years old, So it was some heartbreaks in that, but it was truth told. So I think when you deal with the truth and the heartbreaks, then all of it eventually time heals all wounds. But for me, it was difficult because for what we do, entertainment, hair, etc., very different. Very different. Every woman can't handle it. They say they can. I can handle that. I can't. No, you can't. You cannot handle what we do. Not all, but majority of women just couldn't handle it. And so the biggest thing for me was too many. I didn't like all the questions. I didn't like if I walk you out. Well, Troy's my boy. That's your husband, but you're there alone. So of course I'm gonna walk you to your car. But if he sees it, me and you got something going on.
To the no.
You see what I mean? So now it becomes situations. So I didn't want to live with that kind of stuff. And I just really wanted somebody that was going to stand on their own 2 feet and deal with me accordingly for what I do, not for my history, not for her history, because we all got it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be respected for today and moving forward, not for what was done. And so she gives me that.
Yeah, and I remember, even with Troy, when he was doing the track and, he was announcing on Thursday Night Drift and, there would be all these, women who were dressed or undressed, whatever it was.
But Troy always liked fast cars and fast girls.
Yeah. Real fast
and then
on
he
both.
met you and it's
I remember I remember him walking towards me, and I remember this pretty little young girl, long hair, and I could see her looking at him like, if you would just look at me. And I remember looking at her thinking, if you step forward, I'm gonna knock you out. Like there has to be at some point, I know for me, I am way more confident in who I am now, but I still got to put that crazy carrot on him sometimes just to let women know, like sometimes we get a little aggressive and we get like, well, if he's going to stray, then I'm gonna be the one he does it with. And so sometimes I'm like, you don't know me. I'll take my earrings off. We could go down. Because, I feel like at some point, you just can't let the disrespect, because then it just gets worse.
Well, I don't think that you have to correct that. I think Troy has to correct that. And
Baby.
that was an issue for me dating women. Let me handle my business.
How you bring him?
Don't you handle my business for me. If I'm not handling my business, then you can handle my business.
Yeah.
But if I'm handling my business, then you got to allow that to be, because that could be a $100,000 deal. I don't care what it looked like.
I can guarantee
you can say that, but I'm just saying,
don't know.
For the scenario, you really don't always know.
Right, you don't always know.
When you do business with pretty women, and we some cats that are doing business like that, then it's always going to be speculation. So again, that woman really has to be strength and strong to be able to sit at the table with him, or if I'm sitting at the table with her. Of course, you got the scenarios of what could happen.
Right.
I mean, I say it all the time. Why do promoters and what we do get blamed for everything when doctors could be dealing with the nurses, teachers is messing with principals, officers is messing with co-workers, and the list goes on. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat.
Right.
It has nothing to do with what you're doing. It has to do with who you are. If you get down, it's you get down.
That's a good word. So we're going to take a quick break. And then what I want you guys to think about is really on that line, on that subject, like what makes a good man, or what makes a man good, like Pat said. For all of those young people coming up and listening, for the women who are listening, who are looking for a life partner and who are looking for a mate, like what are things that they should look for, and what are like huge red flags? Like, you should have known, he told you who he was. So just think about that. We're going to take a super quick break, and when we return, we're going to jump right back into it. See you soon. Flags, like you